Welcome guys to a brand new video on solo leveling Arise. In today's video we are going to be focusing on Choi in simply because he is the limited character available right now, and I want to go over the best build for him. Now right now there's a lot of really good builds for him. Actually, I wouldn't say there's like one that just outright is better, but there's a couple of builds you can run with this guy to allow him to deal insane amount of damage. So this video is going to be helping you guys, especially if you guys have Choi in yourself, and I'll also do a slight review of the units itself, because I do think there is a couple of stuff that you guys want to know about the character, especially if you guys are still thinking whether you should go ahead and summon for him or just save for Choi that comes out in the future. So let's go ahead and talk about Choi in today's video. Hopefully you guys like this video. Stay tuned for more content on solo leveling Arise. I can't wait for Global to come out, and I can't wait for Choi to come out so I can release a lot more content for you guys. So subscribe to the channel, and if you guys find this video helpful, hey, go ahead and click the like button. Okay, so Choi I will show you guys my current build. I wouldn't say it's the, actually I think it's a good build. I said the best build, but there's so many builds you can run. Now if I was able to, like, you know, strip off the gear and do a bunch of gear calculation, I would. However, the main issue with this game is that to change artifacts you need gold, and sorry guys, I don't have a lot of gold. Yes, you guys are seeing 400k thinking it's enough. It is not enough. So therefore I can't just strip off all my gear and keep switching out the gears to just test out the damage overall. But based on like looking at the skills for each artifacts, I can see which builds are actually worth building for this character. And eventually, hopefully, if the devs actually listen to the players, they change the whole idea of switching gears that cost gold or credits, then I would be happy to test this out properly. So let's go ahead and talk about his actually, first of all, we need to understand this guy. He's just a straight DPS character. However, he does has the ability to reduce the defense of the character by 15%. So besides that, he's just straight DPS. That's all you really need to know about him. Plus, the moment you use your ultimate, all of his basic skill refreshes. So as you can see, the moment you cast Ultimate Hunter, which is this one over here, the moment you cast End of Days, which is this one, you will be able to get this effect, which basically resets the cooldown of Rain of Flames and Flame Spear, which is Rain of Flames and Flame Spear, which essentially it's saying before you use the ultimate, use both of the skill first and then use the ultimate and then cast both of the skills as well. So besides that, straight DPS plus the ability to reduce the defense of character. So right now the way people are using this guy is just straight DPS. However, if there is like a content or like a boss that has a break meter, a lot of people switch out Choi in. I do the same thing, because having a character or an enemy, sorry, with a break meter means you need to as long as they regenerate the break meter, you want to have a team that can consistently break the character. Now technically, because I'm using Mingbong-gu, I can't use Choi in. However, if you have CO, which is only one of the few characters I am missing that I absolutely want, so if you have CO, you can actually take off you can actually take this character off your team and run a team with Emma Lawrence, Choi and CO. So you have two break characters, plus CO could be your support character with the shield ability if you build her with the shield. However, since I don't have her, I have to sometimes remove Choi in for my team if there is an enemy that I need to break as fast as possible. Especially if I'm going against Igris, I need to use two break characters and one healer, because I don't have CO. I have to take off Choi in. So he is a really good character, don't get me wrong. However, most people might have to switch him out sometimes. And when it comes to his build, I have focused all on trying to make sure he does the most amount of damage. There's a lot of artifacts that does that, but one thing you need to pay attention to is that this man cannot crit. There is no critting for this guy, and that's why he has an increased attack by 40%, which makes him a really good character to have early on, because other characters that rely on crits to do damage, early on the damage overall wouldn't be that great. But with Choi since he already has an increased attack stat by 40%, early on he's going to be an insane character. I can't lie, I can see this character kind of go down in a tier simply because it doesn't break, so not useful in every single content. But besides that, he is really good for damage, especially support skill as well. The damage is really good, and the ability to decrease defense as well is also quite useful as well. So in the future, he's still going to be a really good character to use, but there might be characters that just come out that has better utility but also great amount of damage, whereas with him he only has one utility and the rest is just straight up damage dealing. So going over to the artifacts and how to build him. Okay, since he scales off attack, I went with a full attack gear on the left. However, that is not like the best build, or like this is just one out of 3 best build you can run for him. So the attack build is just so you can increase his overall attack. As you can see, increase user's attack by 5%, and when attacking, ignores 15% of target's defense and attacks. So in general, the increase in attack isn't that great, but the 4-piece does give you the ability to ignore defense, which obviously will, you know, increase your damage overall. So you can actually switch this build away to a different build that focuses on ulting a lot faster. So if you're going to build him with the Destroyer set, you can, because his ultimate actually is insanely good, and you definitely would like to ult as frequently as possible, because if you do the rotations properly, if you use Rain of Flames, use Flame Spear, and then you ult, you will be able to refresh your set. So obviously wanting to, you know, be able to ult frequently is going to be good, plus the percentage on his ult is insanely good. The damage from this is really good. So that is a good build you can go ahead and use, that focuses mainly more on his ultimate and also provides supportive abilities for your team as well, because he is also able to give increased power player and party power gauge acquisition rate by 20%. So great character if you do build him with this. Great supportive ability plus great damage if you use his ultimate. Another build you can go ahead and use is this one over here, just to increase his damage from his ult. However, if you are going to be using this build, I highly recommend that the other characters in your team, other character that you're going to be using, has to run this build, so that you guys can have an increased power gauge acquisition, so that this actually becomes beneficial, so that you can frequently ult, plus also having the ability to deal insane amount of damage. So I actually think this is a really good build as well. So like I said, 3 builds you can run with him. One is the attack set, the armed set, the second one is the one hit kill, and the third one is the destroyer set. Those are the 3 ones for the left side that I think are actually very good. You will notice from like the main DPS characters, these are some of the best build for them. But if you want to run the one hit kill, you need to have other characters in your team running this over here, so that you can benefit from that. And as you can see, the cooldown of your ultimate is actually reduced by 40%, which is actually very useful as well, because like I mentioned, if he does ult frequently, you will be able to just reset the basic skill. So I do like actually the one hit kill a little bit more, but like I mentioned, the other characters you use will need to run the other gear. So this is okay. If I'm using Choi against enemies that don't need a break meter, then I would use the one hit kill, plus Emma would use a different build, which would, instead of the break one, it would be the destroyer set, and then I would use Ming Bong Gu, or you can use the other support character that I mentioned, Seo, and you can also fit her with this build as well. The only issue is that Seo won't really have that much. Okay, her shield will be tanky, but not as tanky as it would be, because there's another gear you could run for Seo, which actually increases the effectiveness of her shield, which I think is something I want to run with, just so I can have consistently good amount of shields, so that my characters don't take huge amount of damage. So I would rather build my Seo with this shield rather than build her with the destroyer set. So like I mentioned, if you do want to build him, there's really good builds. I think I lean towards more the one hit kill build. The issue with this is that it requires you to have a lot of good gears, or gears for your other characters, because you are going to need to focus on the, where's this one, on the destroyer set for your other characters, so you can ult faster, you can frequently use your skills as well. So that would be really, really good. Now, when it comes to the right side, there is a couple of builds you could use. You can use this one over here, which increases skill MP consumption rate by 20%, but increases damage dealt at full set by 15-18%, and there is also a cooldown reduction for basic skill of 18%. So this is really good as well, so that you can frequently use your skill. Now, the issue is it's an 18% reduction to your skill, which is only a 2.7 second reduction. So the basic skill has a cooldown of 15 seconds. So if you're using that build, it only shaves off 2.7 seconds. So it's not really a lot. However, it's useful nevertheless. Plus, you also are able to deal an increased damage of 18%. Now, a different build you could use for that right side is either the Berserker set, which I highly do not recommend because this is too risky. Plus, you don't want your hunters to be reducing. You don't want the HP to be reduced by that much, and especially if you're running CEO with a shield build, this will be something you can't consistently rely on because that shield should be extremely tanky, and therefore your character should not be taking a lot of damage. So Choi wouldn't be taking a lot of damage, so therefore you won't be able to have this benefit of increased 30%. However, what you could do is refrain from using CO for a bit. Make sure your character takes a bit of damage, so it goes below 70% or 70%. Then you can start popping off CO and using her shield. And what I mean by popping off CO is the support ability she has, or the QTE has the ability to provide shield. So like I said, you can be like really be technical with that skill or with that artifact, sorry. So the QTE, oh actually the QTE does not have a shield. So if you're going to be using, oh okay, so it only relies on support skill. Okay, yeah, you don't, never mind, don't build him with that then, sorry about that. But you can technically get shield from her basic skill, but if you're building her with a shield build, you don't really want her to be on field for too long, because the damage overall, let me see, should be just decent but not good enough, so that's a loss in DPS. So honestly, don't build him with that, with the Berserker gear. Actually, I take that back, don't build him with that. The better one, honestly, instead of Berserker, would be the one where it's focused on the enemy's HP instead. So it'll be a 20% increase in your damage if the HP of the enemy is below 70% or at 70%. The only issue with that is that you need to get the enemy's HP below 70% before you get a benefit from the artifact. So you can either go with this build over here, which you will always get a benefit of increase. Actually no, this was better because this one only gives you a 2% increase in in damage, whereas with this one is 18% plus cooldown reduction. So honestly, I do think this is a little bit better. Now, obviously, there is a downside of skill consumption. The issue, well, the thing I don't have an issue with is my build for it so far has the MP consumption reduction. So actually, it works fine. I don't ever notice that I'm lacking in MP, so I can actually use the skill frequently. But that could also be due to the fact of the cooldown not being that low. So the cooldown is kind of high, even with the 2.7 second reduction of the skill. Now imagine though, imagine you build him with the one hit set or the destroyer set, so you're frequently ulting, so therefore your cooldown, therefore your basic skill will be used a lot more. You might run into an issue with the consumption, but I'm not sure about that since I can't test that. But honestly, the build I'm leaning towards the most actually is definitely gonna be this set, the one hit kill, ensuring once again that your allies, your two other hunters, are running the destroyer set, so you can get an increased acquisition rate for your power grades, and then you focus on him doing the ults frequently, plus the damage from it is really good. And then for the right side, you can actually go with the set over here, or you can go with the set that's not this one, sorry, that where is it? Or you can go with this set, but I prefer this set a little bit more as well. Now don't forget guys, blessing is in this game. There's blessing stones. Now right now in the game, you guys might not be utilizing the blessings. So if I go over to blessings, because I don't think a lot of people have good blessings. I have terrible blessings, like honestly rubbish blessings. But there is actually good blessings that you will get in the future. Now I don't know how to get it right now, but it says obtain title Demon Slayer, which actually increases your mana. Just in case you run into an issue with mana consumption, sorry, you do have this over here, but this is something you can't unlock right now. I don't think you can. But there's over good, where is it? There we go. So skill cooldown reduction by 20%, but it says you have to complete the secret quest. I don't know how to do this. I literally don't. But do note that all of these blessing stones will probably affect your build as well. But I think those will actually make the build I just recommend a lot better, especially when you reduce the cooldown of your skills by 20%, a further 20%, mind you, especially if you are running this build. The only issue is you need to have MP. So MP consumption might be higher because you're frequently using your skill a lot faster. So let's just calculate it actually. So it's an 18% reduction in from here plus 20%. So that's 30. Am I doing right? That's, yeah, 38% reduction in your cooldown overall. That's really good actually. So from 15 seconds, I would assume it's like 3 seconds. So 3, 4, 5. That's a 5.7 second reduction. So 10 seconds per skill. So, and then don't forget you will ulting a lot faster as well. So that's really good build. That's a really good build. So honestly, I would love to change my build because I actually use Choi with Min. So I do have this set on him actually, which gives us power acquisition. So I should actually change this build overall. But this build works fine for me as well because of ignoring defense and whatnot. The damage overall from even his normal attacks are also really, really good. Now, when it comes to his skills that you want to level up, first is always the support skill, because for clearing story, support skill is something that will become very important because you're going to be mainly using Song Jin-Woo. The support skill has great damage, plus the debuff as well is really useful. So this will come in number 1. Followed by the skills over here, the basic skills, which the percentage are insane. Oh, don't forget the ultimate as well. Like the damage from this is insanely good as well. And then the QTE. In fact, all of his skills are very important. He's just very, very important. So I do like the build I've actually suggested to you guys. And obviously get his weapon as well. So that's my best build for Choi Jin-in. And I would love to test this out as well. So I will actually switch out my build and start working on trying to get the one-hit build on him as well. So I don't think I have, yeah, I don't really have the best artifacts for it. As you can see, it's really bad. It's really bad. So I should try and farm that actually. Where's the gloves? Do I have a good glove piece? Shield, attack. I don't have a good glove piece either. So that's why I'm not building in with that actually at the moment. Just because I don't have a good gear for it or good artifacts for it. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. It's been your boy AC Gamer and I'm out.